Hey friends, Alison here, dropping in to share with you a new 12 by 12 scrapbooking layout. If you follow me on Instagram, I shared a sneak peek of a new milk themed layout coming up, and this is it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll leave my handle down below. So if you're interested in popping by and checking that out, you'll know where to go. This layout is a mixed media layout in that I used one of my new scrappy goodies that I got from Scrapbook Nerd. It's the Tim Holtz stencil. My brain does not want to work this Sunday morning. I am just ink blending through the stencil. I thought it would really work to highlight like a milking cow theme with the dots like a Holstein cow would have. And so that's what I am running with. I'm using smoked hickory distress ink from Tim Holtz. And with that done, I'm going to layer up a journaling card, a piece of white cardstock that I trimmed down to 3x4 and then stamped multiple times on. I think you saw that at the start of the video. If I didn't cut it out, hopefully it was still there. But I used third generation stamping to repeatedly stamp the phrase moo. And then that is going in the center of this cluster. And then of course, down at the bottom of the page is my photo. It is also 3x4 inches, as well as the journaling card up at the top. I stuck with a black, white, gray, and pink color scheme for this layout. I really liked the journaling card, and actually that was the starting point for my color scheme for this layout because it already had the gray and the white in it. Originally, I wasn't going to pull gray into the layout, but then I thought it would actually work, so why not throw it in? The little tab on the side of the journaling card says read this, and there's a little arrow pointing down. At the end of the video, I will add just a few lines of journaling on strips over the moo pattern paper that I created myself. So in a way, the arrow is kind of pointing to the journaling. I think really it's referring to if you had used the journaling card properly, adding your journaling to that journaling card, but I didn't. That was a lot of journaling in that one sentence. My goodness. Instead, I added some Ali Edwards ephemera, some acetate pieces. That'll be coming up. But in the meantime, I am working on filling what is going to be trapped space in my layout right now. I know that above the title and to the right of it from this angle, I'm going to have a little white fence and a little cow as embellishments. And there's going to be white space in between all of it with nothing in it. So to fill it up, I decided to add a subtitle, which is going to be "You're kidding, right?" And then there will be a question mark down at the very end. I'm using stamps from my stash to stamp that out. You can see me working on that right now. And I'm just using some black ink that I had in my stash from Close to My Heart to stamp that little phrase. Now with that done, I can move on to the fence that I had mentioned earlier, and then the little cow that's going to sit on top of it. There is going to be another cow and fence kitty corner to that below the title. Seriously, there it is right now in sort of the middle bottom right of the layout. Once that's done, I'm going to pop this up on foam squares first. I'm going to move on to embellishing the journaling card up at the top. I have already somewhat embellished it before this. Apparently, before I do the rest of the embellishing, I'm working on little speech bubbles because each of the little cows that I adhered to this layout are both saying moo as well. And I'm using alpha stickers that I've had in my stash for a while from Ellie's Studio. Those actually came from the Paper Issues shop in one of the scrapbooking kits from in the past. So there's both the phrase speech bubbles. There's some scraps that I just killed. Woo! And here is the acetate pieces from Ali Edwards. I thought the colors worked really well with the color scheme. This larger heart that I'm adding right now looks very almost like tan, peachy kind of colored. In real life, when I looked at it, it looked very pink, like a really light shade pink. So I thought it worked. I kind of feel like in the video it sticks out, but it's all good, I promise. And it's stapled down. I'm not going to bother changing it now. That was my little hack for stapling images using a regular office stapler. If you don't have a long arm stapler, which I don't, I found that using my little foam square for paper piercing underneath a regular stapler works really well to help you staple with it in the open position instead of closed like you would do traditionally. I butchered that explanation, but I hope it made sense to you. Anyways, I found that it works really well. The only downside is you have to flip the paper over and make sure you push down the ends of the staples so they don't stick out, because as you could see when I flipped the paper over, my little foam pad was sticking to the back of my layout. It doesn't hurt that Sorry, I just had an alarm go off on my phone. It doesn't hurt my foam pad at all. Essentially, that's what it's there for. I decided that I wanted to add a few enamel dots to the top and the bottom of the layout. I'm just trying to find the right shade of pink in the enamel dots packages that I have. In the end, I ended up using one of these new waffle flower packages that I got from Scrapbook Nerd. And I realized when I opened up the package that they do not have the really large enamel dots. It looks to me like they have the medium sized and then the smaller ones. And there are more small ones than there is the bigger ones, which is bonus. I think that's awesome. In my crafting, I love using the littlest ones the most, and the biggest ones, not so much. So if you are looking for enamel dots and you're looking for the smaller to medium sized ones, maybe consider waffle flower. I don't know if all of their enamel dots are that way, but the two packages that I have at least are. And I will link Scrapbook Nerd in the description box down below. So if you want to check out Joy's shop and see what she has there, you'll know where to go as well. So back to embellishing the journaling card at the top of the page. I had wanted to mention that before I created this layout, I actually had another one that I had created, and the two phrase stickers at the top of the journaling card were actually adhered to the top of my photo, which is now at the bottom of the layout. I really was not happy with the first layout that I made. I actually trashed it after salvaging a few things that were on that layout, including the little flare button at the top of the journaling card, the phrase stickers, and then of course my photo as well. So I am just adding my little journaling strips right now. Like I said, there's just a couple of them. They got kind of lost on that moo background, so I decided to ink them just a little bit to give them a little bit of presence. And I used smoked hickory for that as well. That's it for me, friends. I hope this layout inspired you. I hope you enjoyed my process video today. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and a like. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you are new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, maybe consider doing that if you love Cricut themed projects. That's all I do here. Have a fantastic week, friends. I'll be back again soon with more creative inspiration. Bye.